Where will Queen Sarah's path go next? Now that the Kingdom of Aragon is ugly, border gory as it is part of the Empire of Francia. I think one of the first things she's going to look at, of course, is exacting vengeance upon all those that have done her family wrong. She already did a little bit of that in the last episode when she grabbed Poitiers from her cousin. I think one of the main goals here will be to reclaim as many of the French lands as possible. Some of them will be nigh to impossible at the current. If we look at Blois, is direct holding of the Emperor, as is Sablé. But regaining Anjou, Maine, down here, Touraine, Montargis, and a few other areas is definitely on the cards. So, a little bit of unification, and then taking on the English as well, who are currently in a war against the King of Scotland, which they are losing. So if we look here to declare war, we currently have the greater forces on our side. Now, in which way we can make that count, we'll have to think about it, but this might be the perfect time to do that. If we look at our military, it's currently rebuilding. Once that's fully rebuilt, we may even look at adding a few more units. I think that might be a good idea. We've got a ransom to accept. So buffing up our military ourselves would be good, because then we can take Normandy back from the English and kind of reunify these lands here. Decrease our court grandeur. Excellent. Not excellent, but we will deal with it as we have to. So we do have some prisoners to ransom. Countess Helena, and then Sancho Jimena. Yeah, we'll just ransom him out back to the Castilian king. We need to designate a guardian for our son. If we look at him, he's a little bit all over the place. He's focusing on learning. I don't really think that's the right direction for him. I think going diplomatic might be the better option, and therefore we will look at a good diplomatic tutor that isn't us, and I think Archbishop will be a good tutor for him. Now we are currently seeing where we are increasing county control. I know we have it somewhere down here. Fraga, I believe. Oh no, we're working in Poitiers, that's right. So we'll slowly but surely just regain right here in our heartland, in our direct holdings. Very, very important that we build that up. Let's go real quick to the military here and increase some of these. We've got 2 of 8 of armored footmen, so we're going to increase that one. And maintenance-wise, I mean, this is all expensive, but we can benefit from bumping these up a little bit. So, increased all of that. Cash flow-wise, it definitely hurts. So we'll have to see. We may have to change some things there. But as we increase our control, we will gain in more cash, which is another thing we need to look at here and change. Prepare for war. A papal envoy has reached my court, bringing news from the Vatican. Pope Ioannis issued a call to arms to all righteous Christian rulers. As a Catholic queen, I'm expected to prepare my men in support of this most holy cause sponsored by the Universal Church itself. To all those who will take the fight against the vile infidels desecrating the holy grounds of Jerusalem, the Holy See promises full absolution from sins and a guaranteed place in heaven. My warriors will be ready to fight, and maybe this time it'll go better. So we need a beneficiary. Let's see. Who can we appoint? Oh, thumping heart, aching mind. The last fortnight I have been afflicted with such pounding migraines. When they hit, my vision seems to shrink, all sight and light winnowing out until there's just a small corner of the world left to me, forever at the edge of focus and underscored by a wellspring of pain. Jesus clearly finds my suffering amusing, for the attacks are alarmingly regular. Ugh, my head. Well, someone who used to suffer from migraines a lot, I feel for our queen. Doesn't look like we have any beneficiaries we can appoint to this. Well, that's a bummer. That's a real bummer. That's a shame. Okay, so we cannot appoint a beneficiary, but so be it. We've got a new diplomacy perk to unlock here, and of course we will unlock the August trait. What that does is diplomacy +2, martial +1, prestige +1 per month. Unlock that, and next time we will go down the diplomat route. Oh, our cousin, Duchess Alix, has been imprisoned. How intriguing. How intriguing. Aquitaine is currently at war with Gascon, so that is constantly going on. A little update here for those watching here in August. I'll actually be in some of these lands here in the not too distant future. So I'll be over in France for just over a week when I'm over in Europe, and I will actually be spending some time here in Tours itself. A couple of days here. I'll be up in Brittany, I'll be up in Normandy, and then I'll be down around Lyon as well. So that'll be an interesting little trip, especially with the backdrop of this series going on. So, the Pope would actually grant us a claim on the Duchy of Thuringia. I'm not really interested in that. We've got a guardian for our daughter Stephanie. Very strong in learning, so that makes perfect sense. So good in learning. Bashir, our court physician and knight, he's got 32 in learning. So Bashir, that's an excellent one for sure. Now we look at all the wars we can declare. There are a lot of wars, and quite a few that are in our favor very strongly. We look at King Lorenzo here for Duke Leon's claims, which would be all of Navarra. So that would be an interesting way for us to expand in Iberia. But I kind of really want to regain this. So this is now at a 0% war score. She's got 6,200. Pretty good strength. Allies are Ulster and Wiltshire, so not much there. This is at a standstill with Scotland. I mean, timing-wise, it's nearly perfect, in my opinion, to launch this. So if we look at Evreux, I think launching an attack on England to regain these lands would be... There's a risk involved, but I feel like the time is almost as good as it could ever be. Declare that war. We have 18,000. She has 9,000. Their military strength is inferior to ours. Ally-wise, we've got quite a few that would come in and put them under a lot of pressure. The biggest one here being King of Galicia and the King of Norway. Norwegians are still rebuilding right now, so don't give us a ton there. How are we sitting here? We are nearly all the way there. It's going to cost us a pretty penny to raise the army and go to war here. So the other option, of course, is to just focus on these lands, gobble them up first, build up a larger levy force, and expand that way. I think that might be the smarter play right now. Even though England is at war, we could grab these and then focus on the other smaller French holdings. Yeah, you know, I think timing-wise, with the English war here, they are losing again further to Scotland. That's a protracted conflict. Yeah, I think the timing just is what it is. It's on our side, and it would be foolish to ignore it right now. So to regain some of our lands here, we are going to declare this war. Of course, for all of this. 270 prestige, but we have the prestige. So we will... you are pledged in a great holy war against... When it starts, this war will end inconclusively. Ah, so... Because we are pledged to the holy war, that will end this conflict. Ah, yes. And then there's no point in doing that right now. That's frustrating, to say the least. Culture has discovered knighthood. Ah. Speaking of which, let's take a quick look here at the Angevin culture. We are at the head of the culture, which is quite nice. Got our siege works done. We can add another language, a new courtly language. No, I'm not overly concerned about that right now. We're gonna look at innovations. Trebuchet. So that'll be next. That's really, really important. And then we will switch to... I'm not quite sure yet. But working on these slowly but surely. This is an important one here. Take a look at our realm, at succession law, and changing this. We go high partition. Still comes down to the Duchess here, who is severely injured, infirm. She's a kinslayer, a murderer. But her son does like us. Now, we could push her over the edge, probably relatively easily. 71% chance. And challenge her to a fight. Now, that would be funny. We can revoke her title. A curse undone. Well, there you go. That was easy. Just had to think it. Sometimes, if you just think of a solution, it comes. The twists and turns of fate have not always been to my advantage. God knows that I was cursed the day I met Duchess Blanche. Today, however, that curse has been lifted. Fate has smiled upon me and brought that hysterical doxy to her grave. Not one day too soon. Okay, now let's take a look at these real quick. If we can change to high partition. No, now this guy's against us. Count Sancho the Gracious. He's not so gracious right now. Let's take a look at him. He's just not good enough to really put on the council. What we can do here is sway him. You know, we're going to just start that. We're going to play niceties because I want to just ensure things aren't problematic. Regent presumptive is Jourdain de Villaret, who is selfless. I mean, him being selfless with good aptitude definitely wouldn't put the Count of Avranches in there. More likely then would be King Vicot himself. He is loyalty, he is selfless. I do feel like family would know best, even though Jourdain de Villaret is incredibly competent. So yeah, we'll just leave that as is right now. Simon de Menou has arrived. Oh, he would make an excellent soldier. So we can recruit him to court. 55. Well, I mean, we'd gain some stress, but adding him is actually a good thing. But now, of course, we're getting closer and closer in stress level for that to bump up to the next level. Prince Arnaud's Hunt. He does like us. She hasn't really gone anywhere and done any of this stuff. She's sitting right now. She's a reclusive, so she wouldn't go to this type of things. Even though a hunt might be that, but she's not very martial. You know, arbiter, she's paranoid and a recluse. No. Hunts, feasts, those things are not quite for her. What about a pilgrimage? Now, a pilgrimage, that could fit. But it would cost us all of our money, so nope. Now, there are smaller wars that I think we could get away with before this launches. This launches in 6 months. Jihad for Al-Andalus. The vile Caliph Ifni has called a jihad against the innocent people of Castile. We must rally against the ruthless horde of fanatics under his command if we wish to survive. I will defend my fellow Catholics. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So this will launch in 6 months. We have a faction created against us by Sancho of Bayo. So that's not great. You can see soldiers amassing here big time everywhere. And war is to commence here. Defending against the Jihad. So we can raise our forces and head south to this. Yes, I think we'll do that. But first I'm going to make a couple of little additions here. Edits. I'm going to move our rallying point down here. Actually, no. We're going to move it here. And raise our armies right down there. To the Serene Sarah, it seems that my dealings with Baron Othon, I may have accidentally made certain promises of exemptions from his obligations. I have tried, but I suspect there might not be any other way out of this for now. You fool. No, I can still salvage this. No, I'm not giving Baron Othon. No, you're a fool. I was just singing your praises, too. Okay, so we've got our army is building up here in Iberia. Once it is complete, we will bring them together, unify them, and head south. Yes, now we will head right straight down here. Who's actually our commander? Simon. He is an organizer. Army movement speed goes up. That's kind of nice. All right. Crusade for Jerusalem. The time has finally come. Deus Vult. Okay. Well, we've pledged our support to defend Iberia. So we're dealing with both a crusade for Jerusalem and defending against the Jihad for Castile. So, yeah, it's annoying. But we're going to just focus here, because this is definitely closer to home. Look at all these armies. Allied armies amassing. Here's 28,000 down here. The key thing is, will all these forces move south? Let's see, what do we have here? We have 176,000 on our side. Here it's 58,000 against 19,000, so the Christian side of the struggle is definitely superior in numbers. But can they organize in a way that it makes sense? So we've won that there. Now we're going to head right down here, take on that army again in the field, and we will catch them. I mean, these guys are all just running around here. We have no more antiquarian. Get rid of all of that. And we will defeat them and claim these lands here. So we're losing in this jihad because they captured Seville. So there is a large battle, but they're going to crush those forces easily and powerfully. That's a pretty good, sizable victory there. And we just need to focus on what comes at us down here. Now they're all dispersing and heading away, which just makes little to no sense. Gosh, the AI sometimes in CK3 is just frustratingly bad. So we will win this siege here shortly. Then we'll just move up here and take those guys on. I mean, they're just sitting there. I mean, they are all just kind of sitting there and waiting. So we're going to move up north here and take these guys on. And just focus on this battle here in the fields. Battle of Balancia. So another victory. Now the question is, do we move for a strike down the coast? You know what? Actually, I think we will. Those armies are all engaged up there. And as long as they can keep those guys away, we can use them almost like a shield in our conquests and victories. So now we could move down south, which we will. We're just going to move straight down here and hit that force when they are weakest and just continue sieging. You know, keep an eye on things. Make sure things don't go too badly. Of course, we are losing cash like crazy. But we have a new perk available. We're going to go with Thoughtful. So opinion gain from Send Gift plus 100%. So Diplomat is the way we are going to go. So he inherited the barony of Sarinyenya from Baron Othon. Okay, so we're now above the domain limit. I'm not overly concerned about that. Currently, we have all of this to deal with. Look at those swarming armies. It looks like the Crusade in Jerusalem is also heading in the right direction. So ideally, this gets resolved here, and then we can head over to Jerusalem and, you know, gain a little bit of cash. Mental break. Imposter. Recently, I feel like I am not worthy of the Kingdom of Aragon. Do other rulers doubt themselves as I doubt myself? I try to be a good, rational queen, but my subjects always seem to adore the philosophies of others and never my own musings. Damn this universe for raising one so poor as me such heights. Maybe a new cloak would make me feel better. No, I need to be alone and think about this. Okay, so Francia has now taken up a lot of our lands. I honestly, yeah, a lot has changed here, seemingly, overnight. Francia, yeah, it's a little bit of a nightmare here. We'll take a closer look at these things here in a second. So we've got a trebuchet now. We've added these lands. Call to war. Clash against the Kingdom of Leon. Okay, fine. We'll accept that war. And now we will continue on our little road of conquest. So urbanization innovation. That is what we are fascinated with. Victory. Broken Shahada. The pitiful soldiers of Allah were no match to our warriors. Under the wise and pious leadership of King Nuno, Catholic faithful repelled the invaders and reaffirmed once more their claim over Al-Andalus. Perhaps next time the Muwaladi, Amir al-Umara, will not be so eager to throw away the lives of his followers in a futile attempt to test the power of St. George. So be it. Okay, let's hit pause here real quick. We need to take a look at where things set. Okay, yeah, that all looked a little bit weird before on that map. But Aragon, you're well set here. Overall, still here. That just looked weird. It looked like we had lost a bunch of lands. The map was just not looking cool. Now, Castile, on the other hand, is in a very odd little fractious realm. The Galicians are there. Galicia is at war up north here. So we could send our armies up that way, which we'll do. We'll support them before we head over. We got a men-at-arms regiment that we cannot station. Okay, that's weird that keeps popping up. All right, let's see where things lie here. So it looks like our allies have lost a battle. So they're rebuilding there. We just haven't quite made it there in time. We've got to designate a guardian for her. And here, she's again learning. No, we're going to go with stewardship. Change her focus. So a guardian who is strong in stewardship is Bashir, our court physician, or Argentina, our lady in waiting. Yes, we will do that instead. We have too few of knights and no accolades here. So we need to take care of a few of those things. Let's invite some knights. Knight of Purity can be reinstated. So we will appoint the Knight of Purity as Aubrey. And is there a successor? No, we will seek a worthy successor, though. So we get up there soon enough, we can help out the Galicians. I mean, together our forces combined should maybe be able to defeat these guys. We'll have to wait and see. Victory, pregnancy. A child is growing in my womb. My husband, King Vaikat, would be proud. Victory against the Kingdom of Leon. Okay, so that is done. And now we can head over to the Holy Land. Let's take a look and see what's going on down here. So a lot of armies are sitting right there. We may as well, yeah, head over to Jerusalem. You got 6,900 troops here, so 7,900. Trying to see if there are any more anywhere else. I'm not seeing it. So we get here. I mean, that's almost a suicide mission they're going to do. They're going to destroy that army. And it's just overwhelming forces, but they don't really have much of a choice. Now, ideally, they all roll up together and head down there. To the impressive Sarah, I have heard good things about you, and I am interested in starting a written conversation. I hope that this letter finds you willing, for I await your swift reply. Nope, I'm going to decline, because we kind of want to take lands from him. So here, now all the Crusader armies are gathering en masse and heading south. You know, if we can get there in time... Inspired person. See, what's the inspiration? I find my daughter Sarah sitting on the floor, surrounded by spilled paint and pieces of canvas. For the third time this month, my courtiers whisper about her being an artistic genius in the making, but the servants complain about scrubbing the floors. Her genius will be nurtured. So inspiration, weapon inspiration. No. No, we don't. We do not need that at this time. So here we can see the Crusader armies winning a big victory just outside of Jerusalem. And ideally we make it in time for any spoils of war. I mean, we're in the middle of the Mediterranean. We'll see if we make it there before in time before the war is over and we can get anything out of this. Councillor Jourdain has passed away, so we need a new chancellor. And there is no powerful vassal, so Gargamel. I think Gargamel would be a good one. Is it love? I can scarcely remember what my life was like before Bashir declared his love for me. I'm flattered, but also overwhelmed by his attention. I find myself longing for some peace and quiet. He deserves a kiss at least for his devotion. The infatuation ends today. Bashir... we can finally change our laws here to high partition. So under partition, your titles will be divided equally between your children. High partition, the lion's share of titles will go to your player heir. The rest will be divided between your children. So it's the best way to do this. We can't do primogeniture because we do not have any of these innovations. So this is the next best thing we can do right now. Bashir's taught Stephanie the Arabic language, so more languages to her. Argentina is no longer our lady in waiting. Well, that's a shame. So we need a new guardian for her. And the best one here would be Leonard de Pontchâteau. Yes, I know we are in debt. Not worried about that. We have a son, Payen. Eustache, Humphrey, Norman, Geoffroy. Yes, of course, we need another Geoffroy. For every birth, the cordiality shown me grows. As I hold my newborn babe in my arms, I am greeted by more warmth and kindness than ever before. I guess I do have quite the impressive gathering of children. Mother to many children, so general opinion goes up by 5. So, here our army has arrived in the meantime. And now we can head down here to Jerusalem and be part of the siege of Jerusalem. Let's see if there's anyone's popped up yet. Nope. Nobody that we can make beneficiary. But Jerusalem will fall, as will the rest of these lands. And gaining Jerusalem might end it. Oh, it doesn't quite. Actually, you know what? We're going to head down here into the desert and start a siege down here ourselves. Just got to keep an eye on, make sure there's not a big whopping force out there somewhere that we have not seen. The price of war. My steward, Duke Pereramon, enters the room with a grave demeanor. My lady, our coffers are almost empty. It's dangerous in these times. He does not have to say more. In silence, I give him a dour look. My lady, he repeats as I leave. All I have is this crown and the duty to serve it well. But what good is a crown that shall be taken regardless upon my defeat? I reach out and touch its cold material, gold. I know some unscrupulous merchants that would be interested. No, wait. I'm not the only one with a crown in this household. Take his. I do must. This crown is only coming off my head once I am dead. I'll just, you know, my husband. We can smelt him down. The lure of language. Ruling the multicultural kingdom of Aragon comes with its own challenges. My Marshal Count Hadvik suggests that I could significantly improve relations with Andalusian subjects by learning the language. Why bother? Angevin is clearly superior. Okay. So we can go down. Ducal Conquest. Title creation cost goes down. Adaptive Traditions. Or Defensive Negotiations. So fellow vassal opinion plus 15. Independent ruler opinion plus 15. Yes, we'll go down that one for now. We have a small army moving up here, but nothing to be concerned about as the siege of Zugar continues, and not too much longer. And this second crusade for Jerusalem, this which would be the fourth crusade overall in this series, comes to a close, and this time, this one is successful. Income 4,500, and they're gonna go around, but I don't see that being beneficial to them. They're not gonna succeed. Another papal army is going to have a victory out here in the field. Swear oath of true friendship to the perceptive Sarah. Sarah, my sister, my companion, my confidant. Will you join me in declaring our friendship to be the truest and brightest in all the world with all the debts of loyalty that entails? Effects on you. You gain 50 opinion of King Osorio. He becomes our friend. Gets a strong hook on King Osorio. Gets a strong hook on you. On decline... he loses 50 opinion and gains stress. I mean, how close do we want to tie ourselves to him? Nah, she's paranoid. Oh, shoot. I wanted to hit decline. Oh, well. Oh, well. We became best buds. I wanted to hit decline and hit the wrong button. Such is life in Crusader Kings 3 land. And the siege is won. And with that, it's really just a matter of time now before the Pope says, yes, victory, and the war is over. And we can head home and rebuild our finances. Greetings, my charming liege. I have been hosting your Chancellor Baron Gargamel for several weeks, and he has helped me truly see the splendor of the realm under your rule. I am nothing less than honored to serve as your vassal. I am blessed to have such a grateful servant, Duke Leon of Aragon. I mean, we'll just move over here right now. Might as well. And there it is. Victorious Crusade. And we've made a good amount of money from that. St. George has granted King Mujush victory in the Crusade for Jerusalem after defeating Caliph Muammar and his heathen warriors on several occasions. Our warriors forced the enemies of the faith to admit their ignominious defeat. With the occupied lands firmly under the leadership of a pious Catholic ruler, we can rest assured that the divine will of St. George has been enacted. This is a glorious day for all true followers of the cross. So be it. We can disband our troops, head home, and I mean, we've rebuilt our coffers nicely, and now it's just a matter of regaining our monthly cash income. Look at the prestige. Exalted amongst men. We've got a good amount of piety. So let's head all the way back home and kind of think about what's going to happen next. For this, let's just turn this down. So I do kind of want to expand in Iberia, but the core will be regaining our lands here. What's life looking like for the English right now? Not good. They are losing a war internally. Yet again, another blow to the English. So it might be time to turn our attentions there. Challenge to board game. No, I'm a recluse and I am not interested at this time. So taking on the English would be the next best bet, in my opinion. Depending on what the situation is, we need to rebuild a little bit before we can do that. King Roger of England, a Whitby. He is losing to Duke Albert of York. So that war's not going well for England. They just have an internal ally. They've got next to no troops right now. I mean, really, now would be the perfect time to go in there and take this, but we'd have to wait until after winter just to make sure we don't get any of those debuffs. Beyond that, is there anything else in here? Negotiate alliance with your cousin, the Duke. Yes, we will do that, of course, and can pardon people. We've got people we can ransom out. Let's do that real quick. Okay, so we've got that done, and now I am very curious as to the claims. So, from Thuringia and the Duchy of Genoa. So, Thuringia, of course, is within the HRE, but the Duchy of Genoa would be down here. This stuff. Maybe going against Provence to a degree. Savoie, and so on. I mean, really to be expanding here. But Aquitaine now is extremely powerful if we look at this. They are allied with Upper Burgundy and Foix. So King Vicence of Aquitaine of House Toulouse. This is going to be a dangerous adversary. So what we'll need to do is strengthen our holdings here in northern France for sure. We need to reunify our lands as best as possible, because this guy, the Kingdom of Aquitaine, makes me nervous. And then maybe we can gather up some lands down here in Iberia and be powerful that way and look against Aquitaine. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please hit that like button. I look forward to the next time. Until then, I'm Realm Builder Guy, and I will see you soon. Bye.